Hi everyone, welcome to Lola's Frugal Life. This is episode number 77, and today is going to be our weekly zone cleaning episode. So please stick around for a few quick words from our sponsor and we'll get right into the episode. Hi everyone, so it's time for our weekly zone cleaning again. It's so funny because I just realized that of all the zone cleaning episodes that I do each week, we've never actually hit zone 5. So there's 5 zones in the Fly Lady cleaning system. And I always, because of how I do my zone cleaning on Saturdays, which isn't how it's supposed to be done, it's supposed to be 15 minutes a day throughout the week in the zone that is assigned for that week. But because I do mine on Saturdays, apparently I guess zone 5 hasn't fallen on a Saturday for quite a while. It did this week. So I apparently haven't done much cleaning in zone 5, which is my family room. So I thought it was kind of funny because last week after I did the Zone 4 episode, I was like looking through the previous podcast and I was like, that's weird. I've never done a Zone 5 episode. How can that be? And I realized it's because of how the zones lay out. Like each zone, of course, isn't a full 7 days because there's 5 zones that are assigned for the month. And they all have to fit within the month. And of course, there's not 5 full weeks. So some zones, depending on how the month falls, don't get a full week assigned to them. So I don't know exactly how they have it mapped out, but whatever. That's just how it works out. And I just thought it was kind of funny that I'm like, oh, I hope no one's family room's looking a real mess because they're following along with this zone cleaning and never getting to the family room. But anyway, yeah, so the family room is zone 5. The Fly Lady zone 5, I think I have a note, it just says living room / family room. So I guess it's either however you lay it out. I have my living room as part of my zone 1, and then we have our family room, which is a separate room, as part of our zone 5. So what I'm going to do quickly is go through my list first. That way, if you're following along and you're going to try and do some of these cleaning tasks, you can get started. And then I'll talk about the Fly Lady system and why I like it so much, just because I usually wind up doing that first for people who haven't really listened before. But then I figured that might be driving other people crazy that actually want to get right into cleaning, and they have to hear me go on about the Fly Lady system and how it works and all that kind of stuff and why we do this each week. So I'm going to get right into our zone 5 cleaning tasks. So this is, like I said, this is for the family room. So whatever room you identify as the family room is the room you're going to be working on this week for this zone. So the things that I have on my family room cleaning list is to clean under the cushions in the couch, because they always get like crumbs and wrappers and all kinds of weird stuff in there, because my kids who are teenagers eat in the family room all the time, even though they're not allowed to, but they do, and they leave things behind, and I always have to make sure I clean under the cushions just to make sure there's like nothing like in there. Sometimes one of the worst things that annoys me the most, my kids are fine, they're good kids, I'm just kind of over being dramatic, but the one thing that drives me nuts that they'll leave in there sometimes, especially now that it's summer, is those little like Flavor Ice things. It's like that long plastic thing of like some kind of water and sugar mixture, I guess, and you freeze it and it's like that little Flavor Ice, like ice pop, and they'll just eat them and then just like leave them. And I'm like, I can't like picture like eating one of those and then like just laying that plastic wrapper down somewhere. Like I can't imagine just like laying it down, but whatever. I find those this time of year. Sometimes they'll be in the couch, sometimes they're under the couch, but whatever. So cleaning under the couch cushions is something I do when I do my zone cleaning. I pull them all out, vacuum real good and all that kind of stuff. We have a wood burning stove in our family room. So another zone cleaning task that I have on my list is to clean that out, like to scoop out all the soot and everything. Obviously, it doesn't really need to be done this time of year because I've already done it in the winter. but it is still on my list. So actually, I'm just going to check that off because it's already done. So I won't have to do that for a while once we start burning fires in the wood burning stove again. But that's one of my family room items to do. I also have wash the throw pillows, that are on the couches, just to kind of toss them in the washing machine and get them cleaned up. Let's see. I have to clean the windows. We have like two like regular windows, and then we have like a French door in the family room, and the door especially has to be cleaned more because we have two dogs, and they're small. They're not like tiny dogs, but they're kind of smallish, whatever. And they jump up on the door and they make marks and they smudge it and all that kind of stuff. So I probably should even do that more than just doing it during my zone cleaning. And apparently, since I haven't done this zone in quite a while, I'm sure it's looking pretty bad. So I have to do that too. That's kind of part of like doing the windows because it's like a glass door. I have a magazine basket that I keep in the family room. So I do that as part of my zone cleaning. I just kind of go through the basket and throw away old stuff. Other things wind up getting tossed in there too. If there's nowhere else for them to go, they kind of just get chucked in the magazine basket. So I have to kind of look and see like what's landed in there and find out where it needs to go. Let's see, what else do we have here? Just to move the furniture and vacuum, just kind of pull everything out and like get real good behind the furniture, because you know how it gets like dusty and crumbs and everything back there. I don't know how that happens. Even when it's not food, I mean, somehow just like this dust and dirt like accumulates under the couch. So I always make sure when I'm doing my zone cleaning, I pull that out and vacuum real good back there. We have a ceiling fan in there that needs to be dusted. It's like really high up in the family room, so I have like one of these really tall like fan duster things to like just kind of reach up there, and it's kind of hard to do that. Like, I don't know, maybe someone has a tip, but whenever I am cleaning the fan like that, when I reach up real high and hit the blades, it like moves the fan, so it's really annoying because you're like trying to dust it, and as you're like dusting it, the fan keeps spinning, so then I try and like push it and then like go the opposite way real quick, and I don't know. It's kind of an annoying job to do. But anyway, that's there. Washing the throw blankets. I do that. I have that separate in the living room and separate from the family room. So like when I'm in the living room zone, I do whatever throw blankets have been left out in the living room. And when I'm in the family room zone, I do whatever throw blankets have been left out in the family room. So I've mentioned before with the throw blankets, I used to always kind of stress because we have not super stressed, but like I'd stress and think like, oh, which ones have been washed? Which ones haven't been washed? Are there any in the chest that like haven't been washed recently? And I would kind of sit there and like overanalyze and think like, well, did I get through all of them, or are there any that have been sitting there that haven't been washed in a long time? But now I don't even worry about that in the least bit. I just look around in the family room, and whatever blankets are out, I grab them and throw them in the wash, because I figure those are the ones that are being used, and I just wash them, and that's it. I don't like go crazy about worrying about if there's one that's been left in the chest where we put our blankets that hasn't been washed in a while. So I was making that too overcomplicated, and then I never wanted to do it because I was like, oh, I don't know what ones need to be washed. I know it sounds like silly. Sometimes you stress over like the stupidest things like that. But anyway, so that's the throw blankets. I have dust furniture on here. We just have like a couple of little like end tables, and then like the entertainment center, which does get really dusty. We live in like a dusty area, I guess, anyway, because we do wind up getting a lot of dust in our house, but especially like around the electronics, those always get super dusty, and ours is kind of like a glass type of surface. So it's just, I feel like I could dust it and it looks amazing, and then by the next day it already looks like I haven't touched it in like a week. But anyway, that's part of my zone cleaning for the family room. And then the only other thing that I have in there, I have two other things. We have pictures up on the wall, so just to go around and dust those pictures. And then we have a shelf in there that just has like some decorative things on it, and it's kind of high up, like I have to go get a chair and to be able to reach it. So getting up there and dusting that shelf off. So the family room's like kind of like an easy room. It doesn't have any of those things on there that I'm like, oh, I don't, there's certain rooms that I'm like, there's certain things where I was like, oh, I guess I just don't want to do that. Like, do you ever have like a certain task that you feel like is almost useless? Like, no one's ever going to know that I cleaned this like odd thing. I hope you guys can't hear my dogs barking in the background. They just started barking outside the room where I'm standing. I try to go in a quiet place and it never winds up being quiet. But anyway, so that's all the list of everything that I have on my family room zone. So then I'll just kind of talk about, you know, why I really like this system and kind of how I approach it. So like I said, so the Fly Lady system, if you're not familiar with the zones, there's a lot of other pieces to this like kind of home maintenance cleaning system that she does. But these episodes specifically are if you're trying to follow along with the zone cleaning, or if you just want to listen to this while you clean. You don't have to be doing the zone cleaning, of course. But basically what it is that your home is divided into 5 zones. So I discovered this a while back, and I just really loved the idea of it. The zones are for your more like your deep cleaning. She has other parts of her routine where you have like a morning routine, an afternoon routine, an evening routine, and you have like what she calls a weekly home blessing hour where you do like your vacuuming and just kind of like all your like regular routine maintenance. But this is more for like the deeper cleaning tasks that you don't do as part of your regular weekly cleaning. So because of the way that there's a zone of the house assigned to each week, throughout the month you're always working your way through the house and you're doing these various cleaning tasks. So that's why I really love it, because I used to always get kind of overwhelmed with like what needed to be done and where I should work in the house. And I just like a routine to follow, and I love that I keep track of these tasks on the app so that if I see something that hasn't been done in a while, I'll just go into the app and I'll just add it. Of course, you can keep it manually. You can have like a list where you keep everything written down, where you cross things out, or there's like downloadables you can get online that a lot of people have created for their zone cleaning lists. But I really like it because it just kind of compartmentalizes so that you're in like a certain area and you're not trying to like find things to do all over your house. You're kind of more focused in one area, and that's all you have to focus on that week. And if you see something that you notice you haven't done, you can add it to your zone cleaning list, and then that'll become part of your things to do during the time of the month when you're going to be working on that zone. So to me, it just makes it so simple. And I am not like a naturally organized cleaner. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna go around my house and be like, oh yeah, that needs to be done, let me do that right now. Or, you know, wake up Saturday morning and think, okay, I have to clean this and that. Like, I'm just not gonna even know where to start. So I just look at my list and I'm like, okay, these are the things I'm gonna do, and I just get moving on it. And like I've said before, if you are working in a zone where maybe all the things that are on your list, you're like looking at them and you're like, well, I just happened to dust that already the other day just because you just did. And maybe no one's used your family room. Like, maybe you were away on vacation and no one's even been sitting on the couches, so there's no reason to clean out the cushions. I don't know. Maybe there's some reason that certain things that are on the list for the zone you're in, you just don't really feel like doing them because there's not much benefit to those items. I feel like that sometimes. Like, if there's something that I have to clean that I'm like, it's not even really dirty, I don't want to do it just because it's on the list. You can always just pick another zone. Like, you know, of course you want to try and stick to the zones because you want to rotate through your house throughout the month. So it's a good idea to stick to them generally. But if you just have a week where you're just not wanting to do the things in that zone for whatever reason, just pick another zone and get some other things done. You're still getting something done. So it's always better to get something done than to not do anything because you don't want to work in that zone that is assigned for that week. And don't stress about getting all the things done that are on the list. The idea is that you're doing something, you're getting something done, and you don't want to worry, if you don't get it all done, because the zone's going to come back again next month. And like I said, these aren't things like cleaning your bathroom or, there's a bathroom zone, but it's more like deep cleaning. Like, these aren't like cleaning your bathroom sink or washing your dishes. All your regular stuff's getting done. These are more like deep cleaning tasks. So it's not the end of the world if it doesn't get done this month. Just get done what you can get done with the time that you wind up having. Don't make it like you have to be perfect and accomplish the whole list. Because then a lot of times, if you're not going to have enough time, you might be likely not to even do it because you feel like you're not going to be able to get it all done. So the goal is not to complete your list unless you have enough time. The goal is just to get as many things done on the list as you can. If that's 2 things, if it's 1 thing, if it's 5, whatever it is, be proud of yourself that you got those things done. It's better than not getting them done. So I just think it's really important when you're like trying to do these different cleaning routines, no matter what routine you follow, to give yourself credit for what you have done, and don't worry and be so hard on yourself over maybe some of the things that you weren't able to get done. I've also had a week, I think it might have even been last weekend. I can't remember if it was last weekend or the weekend before. But what I wound up doing is instead of doing my regular zone cleaning, and the Fly Lady I think does say you can do this. Like, you can declutter instead of doing like the actual cleaning, like if you have decluttering to do. However, I kind of cheated because I didn't declutter in the room that was that zone for the week. But I had some stuff in my family room, in my basement. I had some like old Christmas dishes that I really needed to get rid of. They're brand new in boxes still, but for whatever reason, we had an enormous amount of dishes for this Christmas set. Like, we already have more that are opened than we'll ever use. Probably if we even had like the most enormous dinner party that would fit in our house, we probably wouldn't even use all these Christmas dishes. Besides, if we had an enormous dinner party, I'd probably just want to do stuff that you could throw away anyway. But we have more than plenty. And then we also had like a full nother set in the box still. So like, I wanted to get rid of that. I had like some of my kids' clothes that were accumulating down there in bags that needed to go to Goodwill. And I just had like things I wanted to like reorganize down there. Every time I went down, my laundry room's in my basement. So every time I went down in the laundry room, I was just like, oh, it was really getting to me. Like, I was starting to get to that point where like things had been put down there and it was just not how I wanted it. So I said, you know what? Instead of doing my zone cleaning, I'm going to take this time and I'm going to go declutter and organize this area. And I did, and I went and I made the trip to Goodwill and I dropped the stuff off and I organized this cabinet that I have down there where I was able to put like some food storage, and it was just really, really great. And I gave myself credit for doing my zone cleaning that week, because even though I didn't work in the zone I was supposed to, it was something that really needed to be done, and I didn't have like a whole ton of extra time available in that week to do it some other time. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, being flexible. I do think you should, not you should. I mean, you do whatever works for you. But for me, I definitely feel better when I generally stick to the zones, because I know I'm not missing a lot throughout the month. I'm hitting all the different areas. But I am flexible with myself. If I just have something like that that I really, really would be happy to get taken care of, and it's still making a big impact on my home, then I'll sometimes just say, okay, well, I'm going to do this instead, and I'm going to still give myself credit. Like, when I say give myself credit, like, I like to check things off. And sometimes if I don't like fully complete something, I don't want to check it off and then I feel bad because I didn't finish it. So I gave myself credit for doing my weekly zone cleaning, even though I didn't technically do the work that I was supposed to be working on in that zone. I did this other decluttering project instead. But it was really I really liked that I got that done, and I was really, really happy about it because it was one of those things that I've been like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. So anyway, that's it for today's episode. I hope you get a lot done of whatever you'd like to get done or get something done. Like I said, it's always better to get something done than nothing. So get what you can get done, and don't forget to use your time efficiently. Have in mind what you want to do so you can go right from one thing to the next, and don't spend too much time sitting thinking like which task you should do next. Kind of make sure you have that planned in advance. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any feedback on these types of episodes or any other episodes that I do, I'd really love to hear from you. You can message me on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Lola's Frugal Life. You can message me through Facebook Messenger on that page. You can like the page. You can post a comment on there. You can also join our private listeners group, which there's a link to that on the Facebook page, or you can go directly to facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life. Submit a request to join. We talk about things that are talked about on the show, like similar, like related topics, cleaning, finances, productivity, all that kind of stuff. So I would really love to have you join. We're a small group right now, but we're growing. So please join us if that's something you're interested in. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you like the show. And if you would like to, I would be super excited if you left me a review, or even just click the stars. If you give me 5 stars, you don't even have to write anything. That would be super exciting. And again, that's it for today. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.